The sun eclipses itself. The stars commit suicide in docile ellipses. Everything burns and everything vanishes in the strange atmosphere. The sky puts on the colors of winter roses. It's a village lost at the frontier of the invisible, swallowed by a horizon of snow, of fog, and of mountains. A last point of rally before the void, and then nothing else. Ice, wind. Miles of solitude distance this village from the last sketch of a road. It used to have a name. Everyone has forgotten it. It is only by hazard if one reaches it. Erased from all the maps by the passage of time and snow, it stretches, long garden of gray stones, at the entrance of a small valley of naked trees and frosted cascades. An old rifle, a weaver's loom. Here, no form of technology has prevailed. Here, not the steam trains nor the telegraph can arrive. Every day, hunters go to lose their way in the plains and the forests. Every day, they return. Sometimes, a house becomes available.
Well, hello there, everyone. Yeah, it's pretty great to actually be recording. So sorry that this has taken a little while. I seem to have the great fortune of getting kind of sick, like off the bat after I said I was going to start making videos. So that's why this is a little late. I'm going to go in and turn this sound down a bit. Just to make sure that's not overpowering anything. But yeah, this is a game called Winter Voices, and it's kind of supposed to be a very well, it's like all hand-drawn, has very good art and well, it has very good graphics in the way of all of the stuff looks really good. It's not like super high-tech 3D craziness, but it's supposed to be sort of an RPG strategy game, but very, very story-driven. So if you're not into that kind of game, which I happen to be quite a lot, I love story-driven games, then you probably don't really need to watch this. But I say, before I ramble on too much more, let's create a new game. You begin the game as a young 24-year-old woman. In the next 3 steps, you will be able to customize several aspects of the heroine's character. First, select an origin for your character. Read each of these descriptions carefully, as which origin you choose will have significant impact throughout your journey. Okay, so we have a huntress. Although the huntresses are more commonly found in the northern regions, in the southern regions of the continent, it's still a fairly uncommon profession to take, even in the northern region. Huntress is highly trained for surviving in the wilds. Huntress tends to favor spears, bows, and rifles, and are capable of finding food in harsh environments. So it looks like this game might have some pretty cool like survival aspect to it if it's going on about finding food. Well, let's see, where were we? Hunter's primary attribute is as it influences... Oh, intuition. I missed a word there. Ha. Anyways, intuition is the hunter's primary attribute as it influences the hunter's ability to survive, fend off exhaustion. Wow, this sounds like it's going to be a really good game now that I do this. This is actually done in episodes, so the whole pack was on sale, so I just bought it, and so yeah. Fend off exhaustion, achieve self-reliance, and on the other hand, physique does not influence combat. Skuld, goddess of the future, is often associated with the huntress Skuld, the youngest of the 3 Norns, who are together known as the goddesses of principality. Principality of the 3 rivers, where our story takes place. Oh, okay. So we got the Weaver, most common profession for women in the Principality, I don't know, of the three rivers, is the Weaver. Weavers are masters at spinning fabric or wool, things such as clothing, rugs, and laces. The Weaver is generally cheerful and sociable, and accustomed to their village's way of life. Weaver tendency to daydream. Humor is the Weaver's primary attribute as it enhances the Weaver's mental resistances, and provides significant number of cynical and ironic dialogue options throughout the story. That sounds kind of fun, actually. At first I was like, Weaver sounds kind of, like, not that great of a class, but, also I have to apologize for my voice. Technically, still a little sick. I was feeling good enough to actually record, though, so that's great. Let's see. Lighthearted playstyle. Goddess of the present, most often associated with the Weaver. Verendandi. Okay, is the most important of the three Norns, who together are known as the goddesses of the Principality of the Three Rivers, which I still think is too long of a title. Oh, attention. Volva has a very high memory, thus making the game more difficult. Select the job only if you're used to these type of games. Okay. The Volva serve as storytellers, shamans, sibyls, and prophets. They hold a central role, the informal religion that is practiced in the Principality. Few are gifted enough to be chosen and initiated into the ranks of those who practice the art of history and myth, and a few are needed to preserve the way of life in the village. Volva are available upon request of wow, reading there, of officiate funerals and unite couples. So pretty much they can, yeah, they're like priests, kinda. When they're not attending to official duties, the Volva devotes her time to sharing their knowledge, occasional study of medicine. Memory is the Volva's primary attribute as it improves how much experience is gained at the end of battles. However, memory also improves the strength of the enemies that the heroine will encounter in the story. While the Volva may be most difficult origin to start with, it can also become the most rewarding. Urd, the goddess of the past, is always associated with the Volva. Urd is the oldest of the three Norns. Okay, so Volva does sound kind of fun. At the same time, Huntress sounds like it might be fun because you get to, like, survive easier. Weaver might be interesting, but I'm not really leaning towards it to be 100% sure, or to be 100% honest. More like, I don't know, the Volva sounds really cool, but at the same time, the Huntress... You know what? YOLO, let's go Volva. Maybe we can be like a warrior priest. Let's see. Now that you are selected in Origin, next step is to accolade your... accolade your attribute points. Hover over each... Okay, read what they do. Humor. Designates the character ability to given situation into perspective. Just increase the character's absorption. Absorption reduces the damage by a fixed number. Okay, humor also opens certain humorous dialogue options. Willpower designates the mental strength of the character. It is her ability to steadiness, mental coherence. It is the energy of the character. Whenever a character loses her energy, she also loses the fight. That is bad. Probably want some of that. We have a crap ton of memory, right? Oh, okay. So it looks like points are not that small. So actually they come in pretty big amounts, given that we have 50 points to spend instead of like 11 or something like that. This attribute designates the character's ability of recollection to use to her advantage. This double-edged attribute increases the experience points 1, but increases the damage you receive, thus making the game more difficult. Fun. I don't understand why memory makes you take more damage, but perspicacity, perspicacity, I don't know. This attribute designates the character's ability to apprehend possessive or negative factors of a situation versus the psyche points on the first turn, as well as their regeneration rate. I don't know what the psyche points are. I'm guessing that might be some kind of like ability point system thing. See, charisma. This attribute designates social ability to character, body language, to be treated with respect, reduces the loss of movement and psyche points. And you can go to stop Steam. This attribute designates the ability of the characters to immediately evaluate the situation to a situation where the clues are dispersed. It is often a significant bonus when detecting traps or invisible creatures. Also increases the chance to dodge attacks. Can you stop? Thank you. It seems like the game like stops moving if I don't move my mouse or something. Okay, so we probably do want some amount of this so we're not like completely socially awkward. Also seems like this might be a good thing to put some points into. Not sure like how humorous this character is going to be. Memory is the primary attribute, so we probably still should. Oh, I know. We probably should put some into that, even though that'll make it harder for us. We should probably put more into this, because that'll sort of make our initiative better. Actually, let's put quite a bit into that. Maybe a little bit of humor, because that'll make us take less damage for whatever reason. Let's put some into intuition, actually. That might be helpful. So let's put a decent amount into intuition. And then maybe a bit more into willpower? Let's try to balance it out, kind of. We don't need to be very humorous. I feel like in all situations this character would not be very humorous. Charisma. Points in first turn. Apprehend. Let's put some more into intuition. Let's be like super smart. Or super intuitive. First name. Okay. Wow, so far just from these little things. Not gonna go to the name yet. Portraits. Okay. That one's kind of cool. Given we're probably not gonna have like a gun on our back or anything. Let's just go with that one. That one was the first one? I don't remember. And then, does this change that? Yeah. Doo-doo-doo. I kind of like that hairstyle. Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. I don't know, like hair color. Maybe let's match with a portrait that we randomly chose. Nope, it was that one. Clothing. I still like that one. Okay, actually this portrait is kind of starting to scare me, so maybe we should choose a different one. Oh, that one looks kind of cool. Looks like he would not be very warm, portrait-wise. But maybe if we just change the hairstyle over to, yeah, like that. That might work. Okay. I don't know what my first name is going to be. Female names come into my mind. Naming a lot of my characters Winter recently, but that seems weird because the game is Winter. Oh, what if our last name ends up being Winter? Or like Winters? That would be really awkward. Dear, I don't know. Let's just go for it. I mean, worst comes to worst, we have to do this again. So, start the game. Do we get another cool narration? Possibly.
Leaning against the frozen brook, a little further out, a small house hangs over the west part of the village. A man is standing out front. Next to him, a little girl is sitting on a wooden chair. They are not speaking. From time to time, she glances at him, curious, in silence. As you're approaching them, you recognize her. She is you.
Dun,
You
dun,
must have been
dun.
7, maybe 8. It was, most likely, a day in October.
He does not look like a very
The
happy
man who is standing next to you is your father. He does not smile at you. Impassive, he stares straight ahead.
He sounds like a
With such
great
clear
person to have
blue
as a
eyes,
father.
One would think they are white. Your story begins here and now, on these motionless lips, under this cold stare, which fixes the horizon and leaves no room for compromise. Under this stare that does not seem, and has never seemed, to grant you any significance. Your story begins on a day in October.
Is he gonna, like, take me out into the woods and
What do
leave me
you
there?
have left
Because that would be
from this
horrible.
moment in time? The little girl fled on a night of weariness.
Oh, no,
She
I ran away.
disappeared in the fog many years ago, and you have never talked about it since, and she was never seen again. The man has not changed. 15 years later, lying in bed, worn out, he would still look out the window.
That means
his
she was, like,
face
9.
turned towards the light. Even yesterday, on a day in November. You don't quite remember at which point he closed his eyes. But even afterwards, a long time afterwards, it seemed to you as if he was still looking.
Looking at for the window, I guess. Sweet. You've been standing by the window, silent for hours. The body of your father rests in the next... Oh, no, you're still here. Okay. Next to the room, indifferent. You stare at the window. It has probably been too long since you last slept. Your head is as much as your eyes are empty. Oh, should have read that last bit. Viejo. A man is speaking from the doorway. Winter, it's Viejo. May I come in? Just walk in, turn around. I came to tell you I will help with Kaliki. I guess it's probably my father. I will carry your father's body. Oh dear, father's body to the funeral pyre. You have some time left if you want to hold a wake for him. He stays quiet for a moment, undecided, then leaves the room without a word. Okay. Welcome to Winter Voices. This tutorial will help you to better navigate the game. It's your first time playing, we highly recommend that you follow the tutorial carefully. If at any time you wish to disable tutorial, simply click the checkbox in the lower left corner of the tutorial dialogues. Click on a valid spot, and you will move there. I think that's pretty good. While indoors, take notice in recesses and doorways that will allow you to move from room to room. Yeah, okay. Throughout the game, you will receive various goals. Go see your father in his room. Isn't he dead, though? Like, wouldn't that be not a good idea? As you are sitting, immobile, by your father's side, it looks like the shadows gloom inside the room, more threatening, more alive. They put on a strange, almost bewitching show, that of a familiar darkness which moves, becomes human, metamorphosizes? You are undoubtedly delirious, but it doesn't matter much. Oh dear. Hallucination. Dusk. Escape through the door. Okay. So this looks like it's my HP, 190 of 190. I got 12 PP and 3 MP. Because that's probably power points. You have entered your first battle. Battles are turn-based, and in order to win, you need to meet certain goals. Those goals appear in the... Okay. That's interesting. Shadow Dusk. Then his spirit was dead. His body fell to the earth. The murder was consummated? Consummated. The childhood came undone. They sat down, dreadful, atop the walls of dust. What will the worms do with this intangible flesh? The worms do their work. Weariness, sleep. They stretch, they caress, excuse me. They weave the years together miraculously. They mold the human shape. They shape the differences. They are close to the roots, where the tree begins. So are they all speaking different stuff? Hallucinations go away. They make the moonless night and the new moon as well. They make the north and east. They make the south and west. They harvest the dead. All that is left to take. They make the ancestor and the wolf, which they call Hydromal. Hallucinations go away. What? Voluspa. 9, 10, 11. Who are you? I don't quite get that one. I'm gonna go with that one though. Movements are limited, yeah. MP. Movement points. Did not see that coming. When you were little, you used to look out the window in search of new images, of new lights, of useless things. What do you look for today? What is left to search for in this cold, misty landscape bound by lassitude? He went away talking all night with himself. He took all the light. Do you remember? I don't see what you're talking about. Be quiet, be quiet, be quiet, be quiet. I don't understand. What are you implying? We probably just don't want to yell at them. I don't see what you're talking about. Once you've spent all your movement points, it's just skills. Enemies will take their turn before you receive another. There's a terrifying shadow right there. Can we attack it? I guess we cannot. Oh, it makes us run away. Shadow is blocking the door and preventing your escape. You've just obtained Repulsion skill, which enables you to push the enemy back. Repulsion icon to use it. Okay, Repulsion. Has a limited range. The range of the skill is indicated by the grid of purple. Okay. I got this. Let's repulse it. Yay! Whew. Do you find him frightening now? Yesterday he was a mountain, a demon, a threat. Today reduced to a state of refuse. What could he do? A pale, inert, already cold skeleton. His eyes dead, his body stiff, but doesn't expect anything from you any longer. Such as life, live for more than 45 years. Village movement. I'm just gonna say, leave me alone. GTFO. I'm out. Run away in tears. I like how that's an option. That's pretty great. Obviously, you can play this character as not a very tough person, though I might end up doing that because that just ends up happening. And now you leave without any respect. Ones who have made you the way you are. You flee his useless corpse. You flee the sight of his empty, azure-circled eyes. You flee his room where nothing holds you back. Unfazed, you forsake him to the shadows, to the claws of night. That's the way it is. I can't be responsible for all the ills in the world. you are not responsible, who will be? Leave, Winter. There is no going back anymore. We shall meet again. Okay. Then the shadows gently evaporate, leaving you alone. Alone in the freezing room where your father's corpse lies. You leave hesitantly. Battle a 100% success. Of course. Because I am so great.